dreamy far-off look and her nose stuck in a book. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Teresa. Thank you so much for clicking. Happy 2023. If you'd like to like this video, that would really help out my channel. And if you want to subscribe, we have such a fun time here. It is a great time to subscribe in the beginning of 2023. Lots of videos to come. So for today's video, I wanted to do all the books I read in 2022. I read 59 books last year, which I am very happy about because I was not reading as much. I was going on lots of dates and doing a lot more since I started to feel better. So since moving into my new place, I do not have all the books physically. I decided to do something where when I read a book, I'm actually bringing it back to my parents' house. So I will be popping up the picture up here somewhere. So my goal for last year was 55 books. I ended up reading 59. I thought I wasn't going to hit my goal. So toward the end of the year, I read like smaller books or books that have like 3 books in one. Since there are 59 books, I am going to pretty much not say too much about the book. I might say the genre it is though. First book I read in 2022 was Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. This is a Christian romance closed door, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Next book I read is The Darkest Minds. This is book 1 by Alexandra Bracken. I gave this a 4.5 stars. And this is a dystopian novel following supernatural kids, so it has some fantasy in it. The next book I read is The Deal by Elle Kattee from the Off Campus series. I gave this a 4.5 stars. This was a fun romance kind of smut book. Next, The Bad Boy Meets His Match, which is the Kiss County Bachelor's .5. I read this and I gave it a 4.5 stars. This is a adult romance short novella in another series. Next book I read is Meet Me at Cupcake Cafe by Jenny Colgan. I discovered this author and I really liked how she wrote, so I'm gonna want to read more of her books. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a cute chick lit read. Next book I read is Ever After Happy. After Ever Happy, After the After series, book 4 by Todd. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. This follows Tessa and Hardin, and it is a romance new adult. Next book I read with my friend Kelsey from Bookishly Nerdy Kelsey. We did a buddy read of Where the Drowned Girls Go, which is book 7 in the Wayward Children's series, and I give this a 4.5 stars. This is a fantasy young adult. Next I read A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks. I just love Nicholas Sparks. I give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and it was a romance closed door. Next I read books 4, 5, and 6 in the Blood Bond saga. This is book called Unhinged, and this is by Helen Hardt. I give this a 4.5 stars. And it is a paranormal romance. Yeah, paranormal romance. Next, I read Origin, book 4 in the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is following the aliens, and this is a fantasy supernatural. I gave this a 4.5 stars. Next, for a palette cleanser, I read Love Ya Bunches, which is Flower Power, book 1 by Myracle. And I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. That was just a middle grade, simple mixed media book. Then I read Wings by Aprilynne Pike. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. That was a fae story. The reason I picked it up is because the front said Wings is a remarkable debut. A remarkable Anyway, Stephanie Meyer was on the blurb on the front. Next I read The Wicked King, which is the Folk Air series, book 2 by Holly Black. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Next I read Covet, which is book 3 in the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely obsessed with this series. Next, I read The Desperate Measures, which is the Wicked Villain series, book 1, by Kattee Roberts. And I give this a 3 out of 5 stars. That is a Disney telling smut. Then I read The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. This was one of my first like romances in the adult genre, and I really liked this. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Then jumping into Pretty Little Liars, I read book 11 in the Pretty Little Liars series called Stunning, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then to give myself a little bit of Stephen King, because I've never read him before, I picked The Firestarter by Stephen King, and I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. I actually enjoyed this book a lot. If you want to read a Stephen King but you don't want to read a horror, that would be a great one because it's just a supernatural. She's a fire starter, as it's called. Then I read The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is book 1 in the Summer series by Jenny Han. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a YA. Then I read Something Maybe by Elizabeth Scott. I give this a 3 out of 5 stars. It's just a YA. Then I read Before, which is book 5 in the After series by Anna Todd. I'm pretty sure, okay, 4 out of 5 stars. It was just the prequel to the other series. Next, I read a Sarah Dessen book, Keeping the Moon. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Sinful Lives of Trophy Wives by Kristen Miller. 3 out of 5 stars. It just didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be. Next, I read the short stories from Hogwarts, Heroism, Hardship, and Dangerous Hobbies. Pottermore Presents Book 1 by J.K. Rowling. And this is a short story, set of short story, like kind of novella, short story novella thing. And I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so cool. Then I read book 2 in the Nightshade series by Andrea Kramer, and this is called Wolfsbane, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read book 2 of Pottermore Presents, of short stories from Hogwarts of Power, Politics, and Pesky Poltergeists. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Dangerous Deception, which is Dangerous Creatures, book 2. This is the spin-off series from Beautiful Creatures. This follows Ridley and Link. 4 out of 5 stars. This is by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. Then I read The Queen of Nothing, book 3 in the Folklore series by Holly Black. 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Shadows Between Us, book 1 by Trisha Levenseller. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. This was a supernatural YA fantasy. Then I read Unfairest of Them All, Ever After High, book 2 by Shannon Hale. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. That is a fun middle grade, quick, easy read. Then I read Rush, which is Breathless, book 1 by Maya Banks. And I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Was kind of obsessed with this book. Next, I read Jacoby, book 1 by William Ritter. This is supposed to be Buffy Vampire meets Sherlock Holmes, and it's like paranormal, and it's really cool. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Library of Ever. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars by Zeno Alexander. That was just a quick audiobook. Same with this one, Ever After High, The Secret Diary of Raven Queen. 4 out of 5 stars. I think I read them for like readathons. Then I read Twisted by Laurie Howes Anderson. I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was odd. Next I read The Statue of Anubis, which is book 5 in the Decoder series by Alba Oregno. I went and got this at a book fest, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It's a middle grade, so I'm rating more lower because it's, middle grade. Then for my self-help book, I read The Outer Order, Inner Calm, Declutter and Organize to Make More Room for Happiness by Gretchen Rubin. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. This was absolutely amazing for decluttering, organization, knowing what to keep and what to actually get rid of, and each page had a lot of really good information. I'm still using it to this day. Then I got a little obsessed with this series, and I read The Initiation, book 1 of The Secret Circle by L.J. Smith, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. The Captive by L.J. Smith, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. The Power by L.J. Smith, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. I kind of got obsessed by this series, and I didn't want to stop. Then I read book 4 in the Spiderwick Chronicles, The Iron Tree. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. So this is where my reading started to get better. I feel like the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, I felt like I just wasn't really enjoying as much as what I was reading. But then I had some really good ones. Then I read book 4, The Divide in the Secret Circle, 5 out of 5 stars. The Hunt, book 5, 5 out of 5 stars by L.J. Smith. And then The Wrath of Molgarth, the Spiderwick Chronicles, book 5 by Tony Dieter-Lizzie and Holly Black. And I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read book 3 in the Pottermore Presents by J.K. Rowling's short stories again. And I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. All 3 of them were so good. Indigo, Water Tales, book 2 by Alice Hoffman, 5 out of 5 stars. Crazy Stupid Foxmas, Creative Hearts number 3 by Shelley Roberts, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. That was a fun, cute crush romance, the publisher's crush. Then number 6, I read The Secret Circle, 5 out of 5 stars by L.J. Smith, The Temptation. And then this is getting toward the end of the year. I read The Blood Bond, book 7 by Helen Hardt, 5 out of 5 stars. Blood Bond by book 8, 5 out of 5 stars. Blood Bond book 9, 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Mary Bright by Debbie McGumber. And I gave that Christmas one a 5 out of 5 stars. Then Christmas Letters by Debbie McGumber. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Then The Christmas Basket by Debbie McGumber, and I ended up giving that one a 4 out of 5 stars. Then Emily Winsnap in A Castle in the Mist, book 3 in the Emily Winsnap series. Gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I jumped into Suki Stackhouse, which I adore. And I read book 4 in the series Dead to the World, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I just had to jump back into vampires. So I went back into my Morganville Vampires, and I read book 7, Fade Out, 4 out of 5 stars. And Kiss of Death, book 8. And I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Last but not least, I read The Ice Garden by Guy Jones, and I gave this a 4.5 stars. So that concludes my 59 books. I know it was sort of quick, but I would rather just hear what the people are reading and then look them up myself and learn more about them. So yeah, remember, you can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next videos. Bye!